Winnipeg has some real battleground areas, primarily in South Winnipeg.
Manitoba's provincial election is bringing forth some key battles in several ridings, both in Winnipeg and across the province. And political analysts say many of those ridings will come down to the wire. Manitoba has 57 electoral divisions. More than half, 32, are in and around Winnipeg. Political analyst and Professor Christopher Adams says he's specifically keeping a close eye on Southdale, Fort Richmond, and Waverley, which are PC-held ridings. He's also closely watching Fort White, in which PC candidate Abhi Khan squeezed out a narrow victory over Liberal candidate Willard Reeves in the 2022 by-election.
We'll be watching South Winnipeg in this election because they are those constituencies are bellwethers for how things will go.
Assiniboia, Kirkfield Park, McPhillips, and Riel are also of interest to him. Ridings once again in which the PC candidates are the incumbents ahead of the election night. Out of the 57 seats, PCs held 35 leading into the election, while the NDP had 18 and the Liberals with 3. Adams says many of the PC seats could go from blue to either orange or red.
The way by which these are, looked at is how did they go over the past number of elections? Many of these constituencies were NDP beforehand, and they're NDP beforehand. Many of them have went over to the PCs. So we're watching these constituencies because we're looking to see, is the NDP going to be taking them back on October 3rd?
Latest polling shows the NDP have a 22 percentage point lead over the PCs in Winnipeg. However, outside Winnipeg, the PCs hold a 15% lead over the NDP. Brandon University political professor Kelly Saunders says Winnipeg holds majority of the marbles for winning the election, but she says there are many key races outside of Winnipeg, including Brandon East, Dauphin, Selkirk, and the Interlake, which are all PC held.
There seems to be it's time for a change kind of feeling about this, which certainly is what we saw in 2016.
Saunders says the election could go either way at this point.
It's kind of hard to get a little bit of a read on this one because I am hearing from both sides, that things are still too close to call in a lot of those Winnipeg ridings.
But Adams says the PCs at this point are trying to hold on to what they have.
It might be too little too late. I think the NDP have had a more successful campaign, a more high profile for Wabkanu. But at the same time, Heather Stephenson is the incumbent premier, and there are advantages to incumbency.
In Winnipeg, Alex Karpa, City News.